Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's webinar. Today, we have Goodbaby International product update of Evenflo and CYBEX. And once again, today's webinar is brought to you by State Farm and Safe Kids. So if you are watching with friends, that is great. Only the person that is registered for the webinar and is logged in will get credit. But if you are watching with friends, no problem. All you need to do is just quickly organize an in-person session, just designate a lead, get a sign-in sheet that you create, and then those people that are on that sign-in sheet will add the CEU as an in-person session instead of a webinar. And please keep that sign-in sheet in case you would get audited. And then also the handout link is going to be in the chat box for you as soon as we get started, as well as tomorrow afternoon after 2 p.m. Eastern time, you will get a follow-up email that will have your event ID on it with that CEU number, as well as the handout link will also be in that follow-up email. And then lastly, please, if you do ask any questions, and we really encourage you to do that, if you can just please put your questions into the Q&A box instead of the chat box, that way we won't miss any of your important questions. So our objectives for today, first of all, are identifying the contact information for Goodbaby International brands and those key contacts, providing information on at least 3 new car seat models and features, and discussing the importance of following manufacturer's instructions and guidance. And we are thrilled to have on the call with us today, Sarah Haverstick. Sarah serves as a safety advocate for Goodbaby International. And Sarah is currently celebrating her 16th year in child passenger safety as an instructor. And she is also an instructor in the safe transportation of children with special health care needs. Sarah is the former chair of the National Child Passenger Safety Board, and she is the current chair of the Manufacturers Alliance for Child Passenger Safety. And Sarah, I'm sure that you can see all the hearts and celebration signs going up, and we are very happy to have you on today. So with that, I will turn it over to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Steph. And that was so fun. I had no idea you could do little reaction emojis during a Zoom meeting. So this is fabulous. Thanks, guys. I'm really happy to be here. As usual, we have a whole lot going on with our brands, so I have a lot of information to share with you. If you're not familiar with Goodbaby International, these are our 4 main car seat brands. Today, we're going to talk about updates we have with both Evenflo and CYBEX. But as always, if you ever run across questions for GB or Beanie products out in the field, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help with that. Right now on our team, we have about 50 certified car seat technicians across our brands. We're really proud of that. We encourage our team members to go through the certification class. The picture on screen is from the class we taught at our office in Charlotte, North Carolina this past fall. I'll actually be at our Massachusetts office next week. Sorry, gosh, I'm getting ahead. Next week, we'll be teaching the CERT class in Massachusetts, and then next month, we'll be at our Ohio office teaching for that team as well. So we regularly host certification classes. We've hosted some Safe Travel for All Children courses, CEU events. You know, we like to be involved and to help support our local technician communities as well. And we've been doing virtual work for quite some time. For both of our brands, Evenflo and CYBEX, we have live virtual installation appointments available, and you can get to those via the links on screen. On the Evenflo side, we've been doing this for over 5 years now, so it's something that we really enjoy doing. We have some of our customer service reps who really love doing the video appointments, and they are such a great way to connect with consumers and help them directly with the questions they have about their vehicle and their car seat, just like we would curbside with families. So it's a great service. If you ever have need for that with somebody that you're working with out in the field, feel free to direct them back to our program. So I have a lot of updates to share today. I'm going to start with Evenflo. And you may have seen that we are expanding our Revolve 360 car seat line. This is our rotating all-in-one car seat, and now we have the Revolve 360 Extend. There's a lot of really exciting things happening with this product, but in particular on this screen, I want you to note over on the left-hand side where we have the product specs, we really tried to listen to what we were hearing from the field after we launched the original Revolve 360. And one of those things was, gosh, we wish that this seat was rear facing for longer. So now we've added in the extended rear facing option with the Revolve 360 Extend. So we go to 50 pounds and 48 inches in rear facing mode. Forward facing and high back booster modes are the same as they were with the original. So you can see those specs on the screen as well. In terms of features, you're going to also find that Revolve 360 Extend is very similar to the original Revolve 360. So if you have worked with that product before, what you're going to find is a lot of the same and a lot of what you should be used to. One of the things, again, in trying to think through the feedback that we had received from the field for the original Revolve, we tried to make some updates here to Extend that would help address some of those things. So in terms of main features, and we'll talk about some of these in a little bit more detail, we do have that 14 position adjustable headrest with a no rethread harness, same as the original Revolve. We have optional head and body pillows. Those can be used in rear facing mode. They need to be removed for forward facing or booster modes. We now have optional harness covers that are very much like a traditional harness cover and not like the original Revolve that had the harness pads that were required and were kind of permanently attached to the product. So these are optional, they are removable. That was some of the feedback that we heard from the field. So we were glad that we could make that update with this product too. We also have some new updates with the soft goods. I'm going to talk about some of them in a little bit more detail, but one of them that you can see on screen here is the optional removable and reversible leg rest. So some different components, really thinking about the comfort of the child. And if we're going to keep them rear facing and in that rear facing position longer, how do we keep them comfortable while they're in that position? So we'll talk about that one a little bit more in just a couple of slides. The thing about Revolve that I have always loved that you will still see here is that single belt path with a one and done installation. We'll talk through that a little bit more, but one way to install it. That's all you need to know. So there's multiple use modes here with rear facing, forward facing, and that high back booster. But when you install it in the vehicle, there's only one way that the consumer needs to understand how that works. On the base, again, things are very similar. So if you've worked with the original Revolve, the Revolve 360 Extend should feel very similar. One big change to note is you can see the lower anchor weight limits over on the left-hand side. This product is a little bit heavier than the original Revolve. So you will note we have slightly lower anchor weight limits as a result. So those are posted over there on the left. But all of these other base features are very similar. So we've got the anti-rebound design. We still want you to use that seatbelt. And now more than ever with those lower anchor weight limits, if you start with the seatbelt from the beginning, you don't ever have to worry about when to make that transition or how much the child weighs and when you need to switch to that seatbelt. We give you this lock strong belt tensioner for that seatbelt installation to get you a nice, secure installation without a lot of effort. Additionally, there's an indicator inside to show you when that lock strong belt tensioner has been fully closed. Important to note, this is a belt tensioner, as we say, it is not a lock off. So you do need to lock your vehicle retractor after you have closed the belt tensioner. We also give you seat lock indicators. So you can see that at the front of the screen. I think you can maybe see my cursor here. There's one on the other side of the seat too. This is red right now because that seat, the car seat shell is not actually attached to the base. It needs to be green, either locked in a rear facing or a forward facing position at all times for travel. So it will show red until you lock it rear facing or forward facing. And whenever this is in your vehicle and you are traveling, it should always be in that green locked position. Similarly to the original Revolve, we want you to always use the tether. That goes for rear-facing use and forward-facing use. The tether comes from the base of this car seat. So again, if you've not worked with it before, it's just a little bit different and unique. You can't really see the tether in either of these pictures, but the beauty of this always being tethered and that single belt path for installation is that if you start with the seatbelt installation as we recommend, and you're using that tether that we require, you could have this smaller child in the morning rear facing. And then if you needed to pick up an older child later on in the day, you can do that without having to change any part of your car seat installation. All you would need to do is raise or lower that headrest to accommodate for the size of the child. So it's a pretty cool feature. And hopefully also, you know, we're all advocates here. We all do a lot of car seat education all the time. And we all know that tether use is pretty low out in the field. So my additional hope with this is because you're using the tether as a feature on this car seat from the very beginning, it's something that's drawing attention to that feature and will continue to be used, really importantly, forward facing for that family and that child. So I think it's a great feature. Another difference with Revolve Extend that really came from feedback that we heard from the field is that now in booster mode, you may use the tether. Lower anchors and tether are optional in booster mode. So you can use them or don't use them. Really, again, in booster mode, if you're securing that seat with the lower anchors and tether, you're doing it to prevent it from being a projectile when it is unoccupied in a crash. Since obviously with the booster, that seatbelt would be securing the occupant and the booster seat otherwise. So now you can use both the lower anchor and the tether. Rotation is still the same with this product, so nothing different that you need to worry about here. There's handles at the top of the side wings, one on either side. You just need to engage one of them. So you kind of give it a squeeze to engage and rotate the seat. Once you've rotated that seat out of the locked position, you don't need to keep holding on to that handle. You're able to rotate around. And because I haven't said it yet, you know, the beauty of a rotating car seat is that now we can rotate this car seat to be side facing so that when you're loading and unloading your child, you've got an easier lateral transfer rather than lifting and turning your body in a different way, trying to get the child into the seat. So it really helps improve that transition in and out of the vehicle. The car seat removes from the base the same way that the original Revolve does, with one small exception, because now we have this leg rest flap that I'm going to talk about in just a minute. We don't have the red arrow that was underneath the original Revolve leg rest flap. So, excuse me, now we have a white arrow that's kind of stamped into the metal hook on the car seat shell. It sounds a little complicated. I think you'll get it when you see it and when you start working with it. But same principle, we're going to line up an arrow on the base to the arrow on the car seat shell. And once you line those arrows up, you're able to lift off that car seat shell. Similarly, when you go to put the car seat back on after you've done the installation, you're going to line up those arrows. It will drop into place and then you can start rotating it around. I mentioned we've added some different things here with the soft goods. So the first piece is this leg rest. So optional, removable, reversible. The information that I have on screen here comes directly from the product instructions. We wanted to add this component thinking through the comfort for this child, especially in rear facing mode, if we're going to encourage them to stay in this seat a little bit longer in that rear facing mode. But you can use it in any mode of use, in any way that you want, or you can take it off and not use it. It's really dependent on what makes the most sense for that child in that moment. So you can see it zips on. It's reversible, so you can zip it to the other side. In that picture in the center, you can kind of see one side is a little bit poofier, one side is a little bit flatter. There's also a little footrest piece at the bottom. So you can, if you can see my cursor, it's this piece right here. You can keep it in the position that it is now, or you can flip it under and so it's facing the other direction. Really, it's kind of up to you and up to that family what makes the most sense and what is most comfortable for the child in that moment. Some of our models also add what we're calling our quick clean cover. So you can see that indicated by these little orange flag tags that I show on screen in this picture. And those flag tags kind of direct you to the pieces and components that you can really quickly and easily remove. So what our soft goods design team was looking at here was trying to think of ways where you could wash this car seat and wash the parts that need washing. So when something happens and a mess happens in the car, it's not always the entire car seat cover that needs washing. Sometimes it's just one smaller piece. So each of the side wings removes independently. There's an additional seat protector pad that I'm going to show you in a minute that removes independently. So kind of different components of this car seat cover are able to remove for that easy washing. So if you are letting the kiddo eat some ice cream and they happen to just get the ice cream spilled to one side of that seat cover, you can just remove that one panel if that's what you need for washing. So that was kind of the thought process there. We do have videos with how to remove this and how we're working on how to replace it too. So we'll have lots of how-to guides via video for consumers to help them with the use as well. I mentioned this quick clean cover comes with this additional seat protector insert. So just wanted to explain that a little bit because it's a little different. And I pulled the image from instructions because I think it was a little easier to distinguish between the two. But basically that lighter gray, you've got a body pillow or body insert. That's that infant insert that we talk about. I said at the beginning, head pillow, body pillow, those are optional, but only for rear facing use. So you have to take them out forward facing or in booster mode. The darker gray underneath is your seat protector insert. So that's part of that quick clean cover. And that can be used, as it says on screen, that comes straight from product instructions, can be used in any mode at any time. So you can keep that piece in for rear facing, for forward facing, or for booster, or you can take it out. It's optional. So you don't have to have it in there, but it's there to just be easily removed if you do have a spill. So giving you kind of that extra layer of protection. Another difference that we have with the Revolve 360 Extend is that this is aircraft approved. I say that with a little asterisk. This is a heavy car seat. So I don't know if it's something that everybody's going to want to take on an aircraft with them. And we also note, as you can see with that arrow, that middle paragraph, it's a wider product too. So you're going to want to make sure that this product is actually going to fit the aircraft seat based on those aircraft seating dimensions as well. So all of that is in product instructions, but this is allowed. Obviously not allowed in booster mode because there is no lap and shoulder belts in the aircraft for booster mode. So just like any other booster, you would not be using that part on the aircraft. The big change here in terms of installation, which is different obviously than our vehicle installation, is that you cannot use the lock-strong belt tensioner in aircraft mode. That aircraft seatbelt, as we know, is different, and that latch plate is going to end up in the middle underneath our belt tensioner, and that's not going to be functional. So in the case of aircraft installation, you will bypass the lock-strong belt tensioner and just use the belt guides, putting that lap belt still in the belt guides, but not underneath the belt tensioner. Here's some specs and dimensions for you. These are all the same as what you have with the original Revolve. So no changes here, nothing different. If you've used this in a vehicle with the original Revolve, this is going to work in that vehicle too. It does have a 10-year expiration from the date of manufacture. And new for this product as well, we've added a quick start guide just to help guide consumers, for that initial out of the box. How do you take the car seat off of the base? How do you do that install? How do you put the car seat back on the base? Those really big basics. We're giving this one page with lots of photos to help. Additionally, what I want to call your attention to is we've got a QR code down here as well. That takes you to our full lineup of Revolve installation videos, as well as how-to videos that we've created for this product. So lots of video resources for consumers too, because we know that can be really helpful, and that is what consumers are looking for with product as well. So this is the lineup of Extend with the price points too. So this version at $3.99 comes with the Quick Clean cover. Right now, the Revere fashion is in stock on evenflo.com, so you can find that. The other fashions will be coming. So you can see that version, again, with the Quick Clean cover that we talked about. We will also have a gold version of this product. The gold version has a typical cover, but with premium fabrics and comes with sensor safe built into the chest clip. So if you're not familiar with our products that have sensor safe, it is a chest clip that's integrated via Bluetooth to an app on the consumer's phone and gives some real-time alerts, including a notification if the chest clip is unbuckled while you're driving and a reminder if the child is left behind in the vehicle, as well as access to FAQs, to product instructions, other important details there. So we'll have a full lineup of gold version with the Revolve Extend as well. And then just to close the loop here, the original Revolve will still exist as a Walmart exclusive. So this version is at Walmart right now. This version will still max at 40 pounds and 40 inches. But we have made some updates here. So moving forward, the harness covers will move to this new optional removable harness cover. So existing Revolves still have the same harness pads, but the new versions that you'll see coming through at Walmart with updated fashions will have those removable harness covers. It will be aircraft approved. That is something that's being changed in product instructions, but is not a retroactive change because the product also has a label. So if you have an existing Revolve 360 that says you may not use this on aircraft, that label is not changing and you may not use it on an aircraft. The newer versions with updated labels will have a label that then says you may use this in harness mode on the aircraft. We are also updating the instructions to reflect what I talked about with Extend in terms of using the tether in booster mode. That change is retroactive. So if you do have an existing Revolve 360 and you would like to use that in booster mode and you would like to use lower anchors and tether, you can do that. And I am working on an FAQ that'll be posted on the website to reflect that information. So because you have copies of these slides, I wanted to just give you kind of this overall overview of what we're talking about here. So we have the existing Revolve 360 on the left, the Extend with the Quick Clean cover in the middle, and then the gold version of Extend over on the right. So that way you get that full lineup and you have that information at your disposal. But I'm not done sharing information about Revolve yet. So we are really excited to tell you guys for the very first time that we have a brand new version of Revolve that will be launching in the next month or so, which brings in a new spin on Slim. So this is the Revolve 360 Slim. You can see on the left, we have our specs. So first big difference here is that Revolve 360 Slim is a convertible car seat, does not have the high back booster mode. It is still an extended rear facing product. So you can see 50 pounds, 48 inches. And most importantly, you can see 16.7 inches. That is your total width here from widest point to widest point. Still has all of the great Revolve features, including that one hand 360-degree rotation. Again, and I think this image shows it nicely. It really helps with that transfer and facing the child laterally to get them easily in and out of the vehicle. So here's some of the main features on the Slim version. This one actually has 15 adjustable headrest positions with that no retread harness. Again, optional head and body pillows, same rules apply. They can be used rear facing. They need to be removed for the forward facing mode. Again, optional harness covers. So these are removable. Use them, don't use them, whatever is comfortable for that child, and still has that same single belt path with your one and done installation. Obviously, this is on a slightly thinner frame. Lower anchor weight limits over here on the left. Now we went back up a little bit because this product is a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter. So you can see those lower anchor weight limits reflected there. We still say we would prefer you to use the seatbelt for installation because then you get to truly benefit from that one and done installation. You don't need to worry about when that child is getting close to those lower anchor weight limits. I gave you some updated images over here with some insets for the Lock Strong belt tensioner and what that belt lock indicator looks like. We've slightly updated that a little bit so you can see not only is it green, but it gives you a couple of affirmative images so that you know when you have closed that Lock Strong belt tensioner. And then on the right-hand side with our seat lock indicator, again, that is on both sides of the seat. That goes from red to green to tell you when the car seat is locked in position for travel, either rear facing or forward facing. And you can see we've made just, again, some small updates there with visually how that indicator looks on product. We still want you to always use the tether with Slim, just like our other Revolves. So both in rear facing and forward facing mode, the tether should be used. Same removal from the base. So, really trying to keep a lot of this consistent for you so that you don't have to understand from one to the other crazy differences there. You're still going to be lining up arrow to arrow, and then you can lift off the seat shell from the base. When you line them back up again, you can place the seat shell back on the base and you're able to rotate around. One of the other pieces of feedback that we got that we were able to, think about a little bit more with the Slim version is that recline indicator and the recline range specifically. So what you're going to see on Slim is a little bit opposite of what you're going to see with Extend and with the original Revolve. So I wanted to explain it just for a second. The white range that you see on this label is for the smallest occupants from 4 to 20 pounds, and that is our most reclined range. The black is for the older occupants from 20 to 50 pounds in that rear facing mode. What you'll see here is that now we are allowing those older kids to use that more reclined range as well. And we have expanded the more upright part of this range too. I've gotten a number of questions, technicians working with families of kids with special healthcare needs that have wanted to use that more reclined range for some older, heavier kids. And this is a really great product that can certainly help with some kids and with that transfer again in and out of the vehicle. So now you can see, we've included that in the overall use for this product too. The Revolve Slim will also have some versions that come with that quick clean cover. So same situation here, you're going to look for some flag tags that have that little orange washer machine on it. And then that's going to take you to those components that are easy to remove and replace. This also has the seat protector insert. And in this picture, I'm showing you the real thing. So you've got your body pillow, which is the pillow that has that blue on this fashion. And then that lighter gray right underneath it is the seat protector insert. So that's where you can see both of those things. Again, the body pillow can only be used rear facing. On the Slim, the seat protector pad is a little bit different. So you can see this, again, comes straight from product instructions. With the Slim version, the seat protector can be used up to the 50 pounds rear facing. So you can use it the entire time rear facing. When you turn that child forward facing, the seat protector pad can only stay in until 40 pounds. If the child is over 40 pounds forward facing, that piece gets removed. And obviously, I've said a couple times, the body pillow is also removed for forward facing too. Aircraft use, again, is allowed with Slim. So you will see that in our product instructions. Same instruction for use in that you will bypass the Lock Strong. You will be putting that aircraft lap only belt over the top of the Lock Strong, but still in those blue belt guides for installation. Obviously, much different than how we would do this in a motor vehicle. Here's some specs for you, again, on Revolve Slim. 16.7 inches wide. That's, I think, the the hero here and the most important measurement on this page, but then you can see all of those harness positions too, also 10-year from expiration from the date of manufacture as well. I didn't mention this on the extend, but we've added in some depth, as in when it's rear facing in the most reclined or the most upright positions. But as always, take that with a grain of salt. It is not a perfect science to get that depth, and the depth is going to be influenced by the slope of the vehicle seat as well. So this is sitting on a flat table, what that depth kind of looks like there. It's going to look different. If you can try things in vehicle, that's always your best bet. Slim will also come with a quick start guide. So same deal, we want to make sure consumers right out of the box understand how to rotate, how to take the seat shell off of the base, how to install the base in the vehicle. And you can see we also have that QR code. So that's going to link again directly to product installation videos and how-to videos as well. So here's the rundown on Slim. I'm going to show you kind of all of the tiers so you know what you will see out in the field. This opening version here has 2 fashions, and these are going to be exclusive at Target. So you will see these in store at Target. Maybe one might only be 1 fashion in store and 1 fashion online, but you get what I mean. You'll find them at Target. The middle tier has our quick clean cover, so that has those additional components we talked about. You'll find that one online and potentially at other retailers as well, and you can see that MSRP on screen. There will be 3 fashions here. And then we will also have a gold version. The gold version has the traditional cover with premium, fabrics, but also includes the sensor safe incorporated into the chest clip as well. And you can see, I didn't mention this with extend, but with gold, we use that dual color shell with the black and the white, just kind of a different aesthetic with our gold branding. So this is your full Revolve Slim lineup over here. We've got all 3 of those at 3 different price points. They all go to 50 pounds. And you can see here how each price point steps up with different features. So really excited that you guys finally get to know about this. Now you'll start to see it in stores soon. I forgot to mention, we have a number of folks from our team on the line, including one of our engineers who's going to jump in and help with Q&A once we get to Q&A. But a lot of our product team is on the line too, and I know they're just super anxious to hear the feedback for things. So I'm really glad that they are able to jump in and join us as well. So a couple of just general FAQs to talk about before I move into CYBEX. In terms of product cleaning, how do you clean your Evenflo car seat? If you aren't familiar with Evenflo, generally at the back of all of our product instructions, you're going to find this page on care and cleaning. All of our soft goods can be washed separately. We recommend cold water, delicate cycle, and then you can also tumble dry them on low for 10 to 15 minutes. This has been the case for well before I started working for the company. So this has been our cleaning instructions for a very, very long time. Product disinfecting, we've gotten lots of questions about that since, pandemic times. We did a lot of testing late in 2020, trying to figure out what we would be comfortable with. We determined that 70% isopropyl alcohol could be used, spray or wipe that alcohol on the product to dampen, but not soak the surface. We certainly don't want you to dump the entire bottle of alcohol on the car seat. The beauty of alcohol is that it evaporates quickly. So when you spray it or wipe it, you get it nice and damp. Once it evaporates and it dries, you're free to use it again. And we tested this on everything. So you can do this on anything, the fabric, the harness, the buckle, foam, labels, all of that. You can also use a seat protector with your Evenflo car seat. So we get that question a lot. We do have our own branded undermat seat protector. You can find that on our website. That is approved for use with all of our products. Additionally, back to that care and cleaning page, if you've never noticed the little tip bubble at the bottom, we've always allowed a towel to be placed beneath and behind that car seat for installation, again, to help protect the vehicle upholstery. So you'll find that in all of our product instructions as well. So either of these 2 options are acceptable. All right. And before we get to questions, I want to just jump over to CYBEX and share some information that we have. A couple of new infant car seats that we'll be launching this spring, I believe in April, so you'll see them soon. First, we have the CYBEX Cloud G, obviously rear-facing only infant car seat. You can see the specs over on the left-hand side. A few specific features I'm going to call out a little bit later, but we have a 12-position adjustable headrest with that no rethread harness. We have LSP, or CYBEX's Linear Side Impact Protection System. You'll find this on all CYBEX products incorporated in some way. We also have new flame-resistant fabrics without added chemicals. So you'll find that across the entire Cloud G line. The magic with this seat comes in two places. On the carrier, we have the Comfort Extend backrest, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. And then on the base, we have rigid lower anchor attachments. And if you've never worked with rigid lower anchors, it gets you a very tight, very secure installation with really minimal effort. So it's a really cool installation feature. We also have a 4-position adjustable foot. If you choose not to use the rigid lower anchors, there is a belt tensioning device inside the base for that seatbelt installation. But, you know, the rigid lower anchors are really the magic of the base. We'll also have a Luxe version. So the Cloud G Luxe comes in with all of those features that we just talked about, but also adds in the load leg and sensor safe in that chest clip. So you get those two additional features with that Luxe variety. One of the things that we know, because we do a lot, you know, for both of the brands, as we're launching and developing new product, we do a lot of vehicle fit as we go. And because of the design of our rigid lower anchors and that reclined foot, based on, you know, different geometries in vehicles, we know that at some time you might have this gap at the height of that, or at the top of that installation. So in this case, I'm showing it with the blue arrows where the anti-rebound design area is away from the vehicle seat back. We're completely fine with this gap as long as you get a tight installation. And with rigid latch, you are very likely to get a very tight installation. So you don't need to do anything to adjust or change this as long as that installation is secure. We do have European belt routing for this infant car seat, and you can see we've got that blue belt guide around the back of the infant carrier. On the left-hand side, you can also see what that LSP looks like when it's in the deployed position. LSP is used towards the vehicle door, so you only use it if you're installing directly behind the driver or the passenger, and you extend it out towards the vehicle door. If you're installing this car seat in the center seating position, you just don't use it at all because you're not right next to the vehicle door. The Comfort Extend backrest, they said this was kind of the magic with the carrier of this car seat. So I want to explain this a little bit. And it's similar if you've worked with the Cloud Q before, but the whole mechanism has been redesigned, and I think it is very easy to use on this product. So on the left-hand side, you can see the travel position. This is your typical infant car seat, semi-reclined position. This is how the car seat must be used for travel, whether that's with the base or in that carrier-only, you know, Euro belt routing, etc. installation without the base. On the right-hand side, you can see what it looks like with the backrest extended into the full recline position. We sell you a stroller and we tell you you can attach your infant car seat to that stroller. So this full recline position is really designed for use outside the vehicle and primarily for use on that stroller system to put baby in a flatter, more ergonomic position. A few really important things to know. You need to keep baby fully harnessed at all times. So you do not adjust or loosen the harness in any way when you go from the upright semi-recline position to the full recline position. You're able to keep baby fully harnessed the whole time, and you can go back and forth between those two positions without making adjustments. Really important that when we put kids on strollers, they stay fully snugly harnessed on that stroller. But as I said, you know, the real idea here is when you get to where you're going, if you're running errands, if you're going to take a walk, if you're using that stroller frame, it gives you this opportunity to fully recline that infant in the stroller. The other piece that is really important to understand with this is not designed to be a safe sleep environment. And, you know, I want to say that very clearly. This is not intended to be a place for baby to sleep. It is just designed to give them this more ergonomic position when they're traveling around on the stroller. If you get to your destination, your home, childcare, wherever it is, and baby is sleeping, they should be removed from the car seat and put into a safe sleep environment, just like you would do with any car seat. In terms of fashion and colorways, this is the Cloud G, so the version that does not come with the load leg or with sensor safe. You can see we'll have 4 different fashions. All of these have those flame resistant free soft goods and fabrics. You can see the price point here on screen. And then we have the Luxe version, which adds in that load leg and sensor safe and comes in again at a slightly higher price point then. So I wanted to close with just a couple of FAQs from the CYBEX side. One that we get a lot: can I still rotate the Sirona S, which is our rotating convertible car seat from CYBEX? Can I still rotate that with the tether when it's attached in forward facing mode? And this is always an interesting question to kind of answer. At some point, this product is designed differently. We've got the tether that is attached to the shell of this car seat. It's not attached to that base area. So when you're in forward facing mode and you're using the tether, you're going to have to loosen it at the very minimum or detach it from the tether in order to do that like quarter turn that you would do to get this car seat to be lateral facing. But the big difference with Sirona S is it was designed with a load leg. So it's a convertible car seat that also has a load leg. So we've created a video, and this is a still shot from that video showing how that load leg is interacting and helping to manage and limit the rotation in a crash as well, just like that tether would be doing. So obviously both of these installations are without the tether. On the left-hand side, the product is being used with the load leg. On the right-hand side, it's being used without the load leg. And you can see there's kind of a blue bar. And, obviously this is still shot from a video. So in the video, there's some animation here. But what I really want you to look at is the back of the car seat shell. And you can see a really significant difference in terms of how much that car seat is going to pull away and move with or without that load leg. So this is not something I often say, I don't like to talk about it in mixed company. I think this is an important conversation that we can have as technicians. I don't ever want somebody to hear me saying this and think that I am not encouraging the use of the tether, because the tether is such an important feature. And I've already said earlier, we know that a lot of consumers are not using the tether, and it is such a critical piece to their car seat installation, especially for a forward-facing installation. So I don't want you to hear me saying that. I want you to just look at this and take that information to have a better understanding of how that load leg is actually additionally an anti-rebound or an anti-rotation device in that forward-facing installation scenario as well. Another question that I get a lot, just always, is overhang allowance. And on the CYBEX side, I wanted to call it out a little differently. So generally, we do follow the 80-20 guidance that's in the technician curriculum. So if you are not using you're not using a load leg, generally we'll follow the 80-20 guidance. If you are using a load leg, we'll typically allow more overhang because you've got this additional benefit of that load leg as well. Sirona S is its own unique case because it's a bigger car seat. If not using the load leg and you have that load leg in the storage position, we have an indicator on the base, and the car seat must be supported all the way up to that arrow on the base in terms of what part is allowed to overhang or not. So we have some slightly different rules, but we give you an indicator on the product for Sirona S for that reason. Whew, that was a lot of information, and my voice is just barely hanging on still, I think. But huge thanks to all of you. I feel like you guys are part of my family. I know so many of you, and you know what I've been going through the last couple of years. And I'm really excited that in about 2 weeks, I'll be 2 years from transplant, which is a huge anniversary to mark, and could not have done it without all of the love and support from the car seat family all across the world. And you guys are just really important to me. The work that you do is really meaningful out in the field. I appreciate you for the support and love you've provided, but more than anything, the support that you give to families every day in the work that you do out in the field. And bonus, we have so much going on right now that we just couldn't put it all in this webinar either. So we have another really exciting product launch coming from the Evenflo side, and we've set up a couple of additional webinars. You can go to one or the other. They're going to be the exact same between the two of them, but we gave you 2 different days with different times. So we hope to see you there. I'll post this later too, so that you have this. We'll send it out, to some folks via email. Also, we would love to see you because we have a really exciting product launch. I just couldn't talk about it today. So I'm going to pause for now. This is my contact information. We do have tech discounts for both of the brands. Just shoot me an email with a copy of your certification card. I'm happy to get you that information. We are super proud members of the Manufacturers Alliance for Child Passenger Safety. And Stephanie, I'd love to answer questions so I can get a drink of water now.
I think that's great. And I'm going to talk for just a minute so that you can go get a drink of water. And Sarah, as you can see, everyone's learned how to use their hearts and their celebration signs, and you're just getting flooded with all of that. And we're really thankful and really happy to be right there with you, going through everything that you did, and you sharing that with us was so meaningful. So the one thing that I did want to let everyone know that did come up while Sarah's getting a drink of water here is that a couple did ask in the chat about your certificate and your CEU. And again, that will come tomorrow after 2 p.m. Eastern time. You are going to get an email from Zoom that will have that on it. And for those of you that were having trouble opening up the link, apologies for that, but that link will also be on that email. So you'll get that as well. And Sarah, before we go to questions, if you want to go to your next slide first, and we can announce that, and then we do have questions.
We're super excited to give a little product giveaway. We will give away 2 Revolve Slims with the quick clean cover. Just a little caveat, these aren't going to be ready to ship for a little bit, so you're gonna have to be really excited and then hurry up and wait for just a minute until we have it in stock, but I promise we'll get it out to you. Steph will announce the winners on the cert page. We will email you. This is open to US or Canadian residents. So.
Perfect. Yeah. And right after the webinar, I will do the random picking. I use the little randomator and we'll get that done. And then, as Sarah said, watch Facebook, and then those winners will get an email from Sarah. So again, thank you for that. So with that, if you are ready, Sarah, Megan had asked, when the seat is not occupied, can the seat remain rotated to the side while driving?
That is a great question. And that question is in reference to the Evenflo Revolve. And now I'll just call it the whole Revolve line. No. So we always want that car seat to be rotated into a locked position, whether or not it's occupied while you're driving. So that indicator on the side should always be green if you are driving, whether or not the child is in the car seat.
Perfect. Michael is asking, can you use latch and tether in the booster mode with the original Revolve?
Yes, now you can. It does not say that in instructions yet, but we have made that change. So it's what we would call a running change to product instructions. You'll find it in, newer versions of the seat will have that in the product instructions. But this is what we would consider a retroactive change. So we're providing this as an additional allowance now. So even if it's not in your instructions, you can do that now with the original version of Revolve. And we'll get that up in an FAQ on the website soon.
Perfect. Sarah is asking, and that you may have referenced this, but just to reiterate it once more for everyone, will the optional seat protector insert be available as a standalone product and be usable in the original Revolve?
That's a nice question. No is the answer right now, but I know that the product team is on the line right now. So this is why it's really useful for them to be on the line. They can hear the questions that get asked. So at this point, it was designed as part of that full seat pad set. So it's not something that you can just add on to a different seat pad. But the product team, like I said, they can hear the questions. So it's always useful to hear how somebody might want to be able to use that.
So Brian, are you
I
able
mean, I think the answer is definitely no. You can't do
Okay.
it now.
Okay.
It's not going to be sold separately. But product team,
Perfect. That's perfect.
can think
All
about
right.
that.
They're taking notes.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Riley's asking, is the Slim able to rotate with an adjacent car seat?
Great question. Definitely going to depend on, space in the vehicle and what that car seat right next to it is. So if it's a backless booster, probably. If it's an infant seat base, maybe you're still going to be fine with that. I think it's really just going to depend what's sitting right next to it.
Perfect. Sandy asked, can you use the alcohol to disinfect any Evenflo car seat?
Yes, you may.
All right. Easy one. And then also the question, and there's a couple of questions, and so I'm going to combine them, and it's talking about the mini latch. Can you explain a little bit more, Sarah, about the mini latch and what it looks like and what exactly it is?
Yeah, so mini latch, sometimes that we just use different terminology for different things, but it's our push-on lower anchor connector. So it's not the standard anchor hooks, it's that upgraded push-on connector. The one that we typically use is a little bit smaller, but has the red pull tab. So when you push it on for installation, you pull the red tab to remove that lower anchor connector. So that's generally, if you see mini latch in any of our stuff, that's generally what that means.
Okay, great. And then Lori's asking the difference of the width difference between the original Revolve and the Revolve Slim.
That's a good question. Revolve Slim is 16.7 inches. Hold on. Revolve Extend and regular Revolve are at about 19.5 inches.
Perfect.
Hopefully I didn't make anybody dizzy doing that, but
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And Sarah, maybe while you're in there, another question that came up, is it possible to put the links or the addresses for the upcoming webinars? Can you put those into the chat for us? Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
I'll do that once we're done and
that's great.
We sign off. Yep.
Okay. Denise asked, is the advice you gave for the CYBEX regarding the load legs and the overhang, is that also good for the Evenflo Light Max with the load leg?
Generally, with Light Max, we still say we follow 80-20 guidance. So we do have that version of Light Max, the Light Max DLX that has the load leg. And for that, we do still say 80-20 guidance for that.
Okay, great. Thanks. Does the Slim have a booster mode?
No, Slim is just a convertible. So only has the rear facing and the forward facing harness modes.
Okay. And then can you go over and do you know just offhand the price points for the Revolve seats?
We can go back to those.
Perfect. While you're going back to that, I just wanted to answer really quickly. Someone had asked about being able to see all the Q&A. And yes, you are only seeing your Q&A in there. And so that's why we go over as many as we can and answer those. So thanks for that. So go ahead, Sarah.
This is the Slim. So you can see we go from $329 to $379 across the 3 different versions of Slim. And then on Extend, we go $349 to $429. Just depending on, which one you're looking at.
Okay. All right. A question that is a very common question, and that is about discounts for technicians. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, I see somebody's asking for the email. So the email is my email address, which you see on screen. So just send me an email. I will ask for a copy of your certification card. So please send that, and then we'll get you those details. So happy to help with that. We do that as a thank you because we really appreciate the work that you do out in the field.
Okay. We have a couple more minutes. And so the alcohol, can that also be used on the CYBEX products?
I might have to get back to you on that one. I don't know that we have really given an official yes or no on that yet.
Okay, great. That's great. And then another question, is a towel underneath allowed on program seats?
Yes, 100%. All of our products have the same cleaning and have the same, like that whole care and cleaning page that I showed before is exactly the same, whether you bought that at retail or whether it's an institutional product that you're using for distribution. They all have the same business there. So if you don't know what I mean when I just said institutional product, we do have a full product line with a lot of our retail seats, but often stripped down and stripped out of some of, you know, the extra nice to have features so that we can bring it in at a price point that is a bit lower, so that if you're trying to purchase in bulk, you're using these products for distribution out in your community, it gets it to you at, you know, a slightly lower price point so that you can maximize your grant dollars.
Okay. Susan asked, are the bases, obviously, are they different to prevent caregivers from mixing and matching? And also along with that, can you buy extra bases for other vehicles?
I'm going to start with that one. So I'm going to assume that this is all Revolve related. So for Revolve, no, you may not buy an additional base. It is designed to be the seat shell and the base together as one unit. So we do not, excuse me, we do not sell those as separate units. The Extend, and, you know, all of our products are going to have a date of manufacturer label on them. So each product will have the date of manufacturer label, which also has your model number, which has the model name. And when we have products like this, whether it's an infant car seat or Revolve that comes in 2 pieces, you're going to find that label on both of those pieces. So you would see the base that would be labeled as, you know, Revolve 360 Extend. Slim is very different. So Slim isn't going to work or be cross compatible between the two. So I think that's, you know, going to be obviously different between the two. Brian Adams is one of our engineers, and who's on the line. Brian, like anything else that you would say about that cross compatibleness between the products?
Just that they will, we designed it so they would not be cross compatible, so there would be no confusion.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian, for coming on and answering that for us. That was great. There were a few other questions. Sarah will get copies of the questions. And so if she sends those out, we can sure get those out. But I wanted to really thank Sarah. And for those of you that were having trouble with some of those links that were being put into the chat, they're going to be in the handout that will come in the email as well. So when you see them in the handout, you can sure go and grab those addresses from there. So, but we want to really, really thank Sarah for being on. And Sarah, is there anything additional that you'd like to add before we close today?
No, just thank you guys for joining us this afternoon. I hope you can join us in March. It's always a pleasure talking with you.
That's perfect. And please remember that tomorrow afternoon after 2 p.m. Eastern time is when that email is going to come to you with your event ID number on it. If you don't get it, first thing would be go ahead, check your spam. If it's not there, then that's my email. Send me an email. I will check and confirm your attendance, and then I will send you out a confirmation email. So with that, again, Sarah, thank you for being on and for the great information, and go take care of that voice.
Thank you. Afternoon.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.